No medication in sight. Empty. A prototype for the clinic aviary? An old press clipping. A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner." Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. There's no point. Nothing that could help him. That could do him more harm than good. No medication. No way. Nothing that could help him. That could do him more harm than good. No medication. Tea.
Thank you. for your precious help, my dearest Miss Walker. I'm afraid I may have judged you somewhat hastily.
Don't mention it, Mr. Steiner. Tell me about the prosthesis. I need to take it back to Kirk very quickly, if, of course, you agree to let me have it.
Yeah. I just have a few small adjustments to make. It involves very precise and meticulous mechanics, understand?
Will it take long? I'm sorry to insist, but I also have to give a hand to those unfortunate Yukels. I need to help them get across the lake with their herd of ostriches. I'm so worried about them.
Once the mechanical leg is at last ready, I can go to the clinic and bring back young Kirk to you. That way you only have to worry about what happens to the other Yukels.
You'd do that, Mr. Steiner? That would really be a great help.
So, perfect. But dear Miss Walker, are you aware of what lies in store for the nomads when they reach the other side of the lake?
What on earth's the matter, Mr. Steiner?
The next stage of your journey is the poor cursed town of Baronor. It has become hell on earth since the time of the last great ostrich migration.
Please join me downstairs for a moment, Miss Walker. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Look just next to the films there, Miss Walker. You should find a film on Baronor.
The film's missing. Tools that would have suited Hans.
Look just next to the films there, Miss Walker. You should find a film on Baronor.
Baronor, the cursed city. Baronor, the martyred town. Baronor has been nothing but a field of ruins and desolation a week after the explosion of reactor number 3 in the nuclear power plant. Baltimore is on the other side of the lake, sheltered from the prevailing wind, and fortunately it seems to have been spared from the deadly radioactive clouds. Our town was mobilized to go to the aid of our neighbors. Although our town means were modest when compared to the catastrophe, there were nonetheless among us some brilliant mechanical engineers. In record time, they developed a small army of automatons capable of helping the affected people. Those men and dogs of steel could go where a human could no longer set foot without becoming seriously ill. Over there, they could be excavators, rescue workers, and treasure bearers.
Oscar! They all look like him.
Truly magnificent pieces, nicht wahr? The XZ-2000 model is most assuredly one of Hans's major masterpieces.
Their mission was to bring back any survivors of the catastrophe to Baltimore, where the victims would receive the best care in doctors and Eugene's clinic. The Crystal, the ferry usually responsible for linking the towns to Baltimore and Baronor every day, carried the new type of rescuers to the scene of the drama and brought back the survivors of the catastrophe.
So Baronor suffered the ravages of a nuclear accident. But according to that film, the automatons you designed with Hans should have helped save lots of lives, right?
I'm afraid that's not how things went. Because of Captain Obo, who Ah, that must be Sarah. Please come this way, Miss Walker. I'll introduce you. Miss Walker, may I introduce you to Sarah, my granddaughter?
We've actually already met. Haven't we, Sarah?
I actually owe Miss Walker a candle. Thanks to her calmness and peace of mind, I'm still here and on my feet. She found my medication and gave it to me before it was too late. Donnerwetter.
You don't mean you had another attack, do you? Ah, you're being so very naughty, Grandfather. You absolutely must let Dr. Zamiatine examine you.
Come on, stay calm, my little child. When I go to the clinic to take the prosthesis to the young Yukol, I'll stop by and see the good doctor. Until then, why don't you make yourself really useful to Miss Walker? She's looking for some way to transport the Yukol caravan to the other side of the lake.
Well, I think I've already found the solution. The boat in the film, the Crystal, it must be the ship that's docked in the port. If it was able to transport the automatons you and Hans built, it could carry the ostriches across the lake.
Ah, that's not a bad idea. But unfortunately, there's a slight problem of size, dear Miss Walker.
Sounds like you're talking about Captain Obo's alcoholism. I saw him earlier on the dock.
That coward has been hiding himself in alcohol ever since he abandoned our automatons to Baronor. And he'd rather simply die than go back. He tells everybody that the evil monster of the lake is waiting for him, and that as soon as he goes back on the water, the beast will just up and grab him. Ha 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 ha. But of course, that is the purest fantasy.
Grandfather, I know you're still really angry with Captain Obo because he abandoned the automatons that you built with your friend Hans and Baronor. He was supposed to wait for them. They were going to take all the survivors they found in the rubble to the boat and then bring everyone here to safety in Valsambor. But in the end, when he got to the beach at Baronor and saw the disaster and all the dead, he became really afraid. The disease, the radiation. He must have had an uncontrollable panic attack, so he immediately turned back, dumped the machines on the Crystal into the lake, and came back empty-handed to Valsambor. And the automatons have been there ever since, in hell. But who knows? Maybe today he'll want to sell. I'm sure Kate will be capable of convincing him to help the Yukols. I have to go do my waitressing shift in the tavern. Come by and see me later on, okay? Captain Obo will be there.
All right then. I'll try and convince Captain Obo. Thank you for everything, Mr. Steiner.
I don't know if I really should wish you good luck, dear Miss Walker. Baronor is only an open grave now.
Impossible, I don't believe it. He forgot to leave it open again.
Welcome to our humble Valsambor funicular station, miss.
Let's Steiner take the prosthesis. I have enough to do with the lake crossing.
No Yukos in Balsambor! The shopkeepers can't take it anymore!
If you were only here to see this, Oscar.
The nomads are stealing our merchandise and our customers. The Yukos don't belong in Balsambor. The shopkeepers have had enough.
Thieving Yukos in Balsambor!
Excuse me. What's happening here?
Isn't it obvious? We're demonstrating against having the Yukon nomads parked on our doorsteps.
But what for?
Since they came to Valsambor, there's been no end to the shoplifting and vandalism, and on top of that, their souk is taking our customers. Mayor Bulyakin has to do something, and fast. We're not leaving until he receives our delegation.
But why won't the mayor talk to you?
Because he's a schmuck. He wants the nomads to continue their migration as much as us, but he's too afraid of annoying his higher-ups. And while he's gaining time by playing both sides of the board, we're watching our sales go through the floor.
The authorities are asking the mayor to prevent the migration from continuing? They want the Yukos to stay blocked in Valsambor?
That's what people are saying, but if you want my opinion, the only thing the mayor is waiting for is someone to get rid of those savages without him having to get his hands dirty.
The shopkeepers are on strike for the first time in ages. That's not good business for anyone, if you want my opinion.
Looking for cigars or some hooch? I'm even cheaper than the nomads.
The way they treat the nomads around here is terrible.
Go speak with young Sarah. She could help you.
The captain is just there, next to the fireplace.
Captain Obo?
What do you want? language, sailor. There will be days like that. Days when the sea runs.
May I sit down for a second?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to impose, but I actually really...
You know, you kind of remind me of someone. The wife of the quartermaster that served on board the Crystal after the war. Do you realize he got married to the first cousin of the wife of a machinist?
Oh, okay. That's all really interesting, but what I wanted to ask...
That's a really great story, really. Because, did you know? So there. So the guy answers, I don't know nothing, Captain. Turns out he was hiding in the broom closet. Hilarious. Irina, the wife of the quartermaster, her name was Irina Malevna. Crazy how much you look like her.
Oh, gee. It's getting late. I have to go. You can finish telling me the story another time, Captain Obo. That shape there in the water. What is it?
Is everything okay, Kate?
Not really. I'd like to ask Captain Obo if the Yukol caravan can go on board his boat to cross over to Baronor. But I can't get a straight answer. He's completely sloshed.
I'm sorry, miss, but I really think you're wasting your time. He's getting drunk again to forget his crimes, like he always does. To forget he wasn't brave the way a captain should be. Can you believe it? In Baronor, he just picked up and abandoned his passengers. And I know, he'll never want to see that cursed place again.
I'm not sure that's true, lad. Even if he does drink a lot, the captain's a pretty good guy. Say the right thing, and you may be able to convince him.
If I'm ever lucky enough to find him sober, even for a moment, I need that drunkard to listen to me.
Maybe I can help you with that. I'll make him one of my famous small restoratives. After that, he'll want to sleep for 3 days, but at least his mind will be clear.
I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much, both of you.
Don't mention it. The way the Yukols are treated here is an absolute disgrace, so if we can help out...
Who knows what became of the victims and automatons the captain abandoned?
No, everybody hates the captain for that. But nobody volunteered to take the helm of the crystal in his place to pick up the survivors. If there are any left in Baronor, they're all dead now, that's for sure.
Grandfather says that the automatons would have broken down really quickly with nobody to maintain them.
Do you know why Captain Obo fled Baronor?
He must have been completely traumatized by what he saw there. The catastrophe, the victims, and then the radiation. He unloaded the automatons on the beach, but he didn't expect they'd bring the survivors back right then. He just cracked, completely snapped. Full astern and goodbye all. Can you even imagine?
Afterwards, he came up with that story of a sea monster appearing and attacking his boat.
Yes, the old legend of the monster of the lake. Convenient, isn't it?
Has Captain Obo taken the crystal out of port since leaving Baronor?
He's been far too drunk ever since then for that.
And anyway, the port's been closed since the tragedy of Baronor 20 years ago.
Do you think the crystal is still in sailing condition after all this time?
I'm sure there'll be a few repairs to do, but Obo never stopped keeping it in shape, you know. He loves his boat, despite everything. Go see the captain. Sarah will bring you the restorative when it's ready.
Take this, Captain. This one's on the house.
My God! This piss water unbattens the hatches, swabs the deck, and opens the portholes. Hello, Miss.
My name is Kate Walker, Captain Obo. We met each other earlier.
To what do I owe the honor of your presence at the table of the regrettably famous Captain Obo?
The captain seems rather depressed. It would probably be a good idea to go easy on him.
I'm listening, miss.
I have to stop the captain from rambling on. I'm gonna have to be firm.
So what? Nothing more to add, then?
This is good news, Captain. You're back at the starting block again. You have a new beginning, a new dawn.
Now that's a good show of spirit, Miss Walker. What'll you be having now? It's my round.
The captain knows he's despised in Valsambor. I'll tell him he can change all that.
If you were one of my sailors, I'd have totally keel-hauled you.
Everybody here hates the captain. I need to try to make him feel better.
Right. Go on. Ignore Obo, the gutless wonder. So what?
I'd rather you listen to me. You're my only hope of finding a solution to my problem.
Do tell me about it, please, miss.
Because the Yukels and their ostriches are stuck here in Valsambor, it's causing a serious problem among the people in your community. Plus, the nomads have to continue their great journey. Only you, Captain Obo, can defuse the situation by taking them on board the crystal.
You're very wrong, Miss Walker. Everybody will tell you that I'm incapable of giving a hand to anyone.
Poor Captain. I think a little sympathy might do him some good.
Why are you still here if you don't want to talk?
I can't let him start feeling sorry for himself. I've got to shake him out of it.
If you were one of my sailors, I'd have totally keel-hauled you.
It's true, people are quick to judge. But they're not the ones who went to Baronor like you did. They can't teach you anything about being brave.
Maybe. So tell me, where do you actually want to go then, miss?
Baronor terrifies him. I need to be more careful.
Why are you still here if you don't want to talk?
If I'm honest, maybe he'll appreciate it.
So what? Nothing more to add then?
To Baronor.
I'm a broken man because of what I saw back there that night, miss. A sad wreck of a man, really. And you're asking me to go back. Back there. Back to hell. I saw the hellish red eyes of the monster of the lake. A beast as big and long as my boat. Ask your Yukel friends what they think about it. They call it the Kilak, the evil spirit of the lake. The devil guarding the doorway to hell.
Well, let's just look at it like a second chance. What do you say?
No. Never.
He is really stubborn. I have to try something else. He's lost it. I should read him the riot act. In that case, I'll buy the crystal.
What makes you think she's up for sale?
You've left her in the port to rot. She's completely run down. You haven't the money to keep her shipshape. I have money, and I need that ferry.
She's a ferry, not a liner. And the girl wants to take the helm of the crystal. Now I've heard everything.
I know that if the Proud Crystal had an equally proud commander at her helm, things would go better. But as you don't want to go on a voyage...
All right. You can get your gang of little savages and board the crystal. I'll take you.
Oh, thank you, Captain, really, with all my heart. And thank you on behalf of the Yukels.
Oh, but be careful now, Captain Girl. You're not there yet. There are 2 conditions, and they aren't negotiable. First, we stop by Narrodas. It's a little town just a bit south of Baronor. That will mean we avoid the most radioactive zones, but it won't actually take you too far off your path. And second, we also sail by day. I'm not going to finish up on the lake monster's plate. And it sleeps during the day. The beast is usually a bit of a night owl anyway.
I accept, Captain Obo.
In that case, all hands on deck now, sailor, because we've got work to do before we can hoist the anchor.
Come on, Kate. You hurry off and meet with the captain before he changes his mind. I'll go tell Grandfather to join you on board the Crystal with Kirk.
Thank you, Sarah.